Welcome to Mobile Car Mechanic. Today we're going to show you how to change the rear shock absorbers on this 2020 Hyundai Palisade. It's going to apply from 2020 all the way to 2025. Let's get to it. Our parts and tools needed are going to be, of course, the shock absorber itself. If you're using an impact, a 21mm socket, as well as a 19mm socket, a 17mm socket, a jack stand, as well as a jack, and then I have a additional 19mm wrench, or you can use that's a socket wrench. You can use a standard wrench to counter hold the bottom shock absorber screw. All right, so since I'm going to be doing both the passenger and the driver's side rears, I'm going to go ahead and jack it up from the subframe so that both wheels are up. So we'll go from the differential area here. Go ahead. Let's see if I can probably jack it up from the rear diff, actually. So let's do that. All right, so we'll go ahead and put a jack stand right here. And I'll just lower it slightly. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take off the lug nuts here. It's a 21mm socket. And just a rule of thumb is if you're not using an impact, you want to jack up the vehicle slightly. Well, actually, you want to loosen up the lug nuts, but not all the way while it's on the ground. Lift it up in the air, and then go ahead and take off the lug nuts. But since we have an impact, we can do it in the air. So now we're going to go ahead and loosen up the wheel. All right, so we're going to have a 19mm nut right here, and then the bolt is on this side here. And then on top of that, we have the body mount here. So that's going to be 19s as well. So we're going to go ahead and tackle the bottom one first. I'm going to go ahead and counter hold it with another 19mm wrench. You can use a what do you call it? Like a wrench itself. So let's see if I got it in the proper order. Fantastic. And if you're lucky like me, it'll just come right out. Okay. Just so we don't lose anything, we'll go ahead and do this. Now we're going to go to the top here with these 19s. All right, let's see if we can go ahead and pull it out. Okay. There we go. So we got that out now. All right. So this is what the new part looks like. It doesn't have any of the covers or the top mount. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to transfer these over to the replacement part. So it looks like there's a little cap over here. We're gonna try to pop that off using a flathead. Just like that. And let's see what size nut that is. That looks like a 14, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. It's a 17. So we have a 17 here. This is not under any other pressure, like doing like a spring and like a whole strut assembly. So we're just going to go ahead and just whiz it right off. Okay. It should come off as one piece. So if it doesn't, you have your bump stop inside there, as well as the cover being attached to the top mount. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and push that in until we see it right from the top here. All right, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and whiz this on with the impact, because it'll just be really good, really tight. We'll put the torque specs in the video description. Okay, and the strut is able to move, or the shock absorber, and you should be able to compress it too, but it's really tight. So what we're going to do now is we want our top mount to be pointed towards the body, and we want the bolt hole over here to be facing this direction. So now we're going to go ahead and try to fit it in. Our objective is to match up the holes down here. So what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to get the bolt so that when it does match up, I just go ahead and insert it. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that in there. Okay. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this just finger tight for now, so that we can get the top ones in place. So looks like the suspension needs to probably be raised up a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead, since the vehicle's on a jack stand, I'm gonna go ahead and get my jack, so I can just go ahead and lift up the assembly here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my jack under the lower control arm. And then I'm gonna look over here and make sure that this lines up with those holes. So looks like we pretty much made it right on. And there's little collars that this thing goes into. So just go ahead and jack it up just a little bit more. There we go. Looks like it's lined up there. I did forget to put the cap on. Let me go ahead and just do that real quick. There we go, it snaps in place. So now we have the bolt holes lined up. And they should go in pretty easily without any resistance. All right. Just gonna go ahead and tighten them down. All right, and that's it. We're just gonna go ahead and take the jack out of here, put the tire back on, and then we're done. All right, now that we're done with the top, we're gonna go ahead and tighten up the bottom. So get your wrench on the back of the bolt here, and then we're gonna go ahead and tighten this up. All right, now we're done. Just gonna go ahead and pull up the jack, and then we're gonna go ahead and raise it back up on the differential and put the tire back on. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put the tire on. It's kind of heavy. All right. Go ahead and put our lug nuts in. All right, so again, if you're using a breaker bar or lug nut wrench, you need to go ahead and tighten them up as best as you can, and then lower the vehicle down to the ground part way so the tire is touching the ground, and then fully torque it. Other than that, we're gonna go ahead and remove our jack stand. I need to jack it up a little bit more. lower the vehicle, and we're done. Thank you for watching Mobile Car Mechanic. Today we just showed you how to replace the rear shock absorbers on this 2020 Hyundai Palisade. It's going to apply from 2020 all the way to 2025. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.